Hello and welcome to the podcast development series. This is a bonus because I realized there was something very pivotal that I forgot to tell you guys about. What was it? Collaboration. And I wanted to discuss collaboration from the podcaster making connection to get on other people's shows. But when I sat down to think about doing that, that would have been a 5-minute video. And I actually have something that's a little bit more in depth for you guys if you're willing to hang with me for this. Because you see, we can collaborate, but we want to grow. We don't want to just have a, a collaboration, one and done. Maybe I'll work with this person again and maybe I won't type situation. No. We want to work with somebody that we can continue to work with, but we also want to open up other avenues in order for us to grow. So I'm going to explain to you collaboration and growth from beginner all the way up. What is it that we really want to do? When you start a podcast, you don't want to just be talking to yourself, do you? Nobody wants to just be talking to themselves. Granted, I like talking, so I can sit and talk to a computer, talking to my phone, talk about whatever for the longest period of time because I just enjoy talking about topics, and I know there are certain places that I can post my stuff and people will be interested in listening to it or watching it. But we don't want to end up talking to the same 3 people, 60 people forever, do we? We want growth. We want to build a audience, build a following, and scale whatever it is that we're doing. Because 9 times out of 10, most people when they start a podcast, they're not just starting it because they want to talk. Some people do. They just want to talk about certain subjects that are close to their heart that they can see other people have issues in. But 9 times out of 10, if they see an issue there or a problem that they can discuss, it usually ends up leading them going from just being a podcaster into turning into a coach, a health coach, a life coach, a stylist, or whatever it is. Or maybe they have other products. Maybe they have t-shirts, maybe they have clothing, maybe they have this, maybe they have that. It's usually going to end up leading you somewhere. And if you don't have any of those things, sometimes you're doing it and end up wanting to have a talk show, which usually leads to you having a YouTube channel, which leads to you doing a transitionary process, which becomes either a talk show, a online reality show, something or so on. But you want to grow into those things, don't you? You want to become a influencer in relation to those things. Everybody right now wants to become a social influencer. We want to influence society in a positive manner. There are some people out there that don't want to influence society in a positive manner. They just want to be out there and do dumb stuff. Yeah, you've seen those music artists and those reality TV stars that I'm not going there. Let's just not go there. Because if I go there, I would end up in a rant that could turn political, and we're not going there. But if you've seen it, you recognize the same thing that I'm talking about, and you want to become a influencer that is using your influence for the good. We're not out here just because we want to be out here looking ratchet, because that makes not only the person look bad, but it creates a stereotype for those people, which is bad. You want to stand out. You want to be that different person. You want to know, why in the world is it that when a person comes on social media, they can share a dumb video. Lie to you not, there was a woman that shared a video of her with a cat face on, and she hit over 1 million followers overnight, and people were like, why? For why? But if you share a topic that is important, people can learn from, that uh, people have a necessity for, that's the thing that, unless you're pushing it, people aren't going to watch it. You might get 900 views, you might get so on and so forth. So the point is so that you can become visible. You want to become visible. Why do you want to become visible? Because there's something that you have to say. And because there's something you have to say, you want to use your social media as a container that will be a place that can open up doors and avenues for you to be able to grow what it is that you're trying to build. But you have to start somewhere. Where can you start? Well, let's see. You can start with Instagram. We've been here before, but this is my podcast Instagram. I may not have a lot of followers right now, but I'm relaunching. Because the one thing you do when you do not have a lot of followers, when you do not have a lot of things going for you, you rework, you re examine, you tweak, you change until you find that thing that does work. Okay? Because there's always something that will work. If you're like me, you can grow, but you have to do something different. Me, I'm the type of person that I'm kind of a new person to Instagram. When it comes down to doing anything on Instagram, I'm not really that type of person that is one to babysit it. So the reason that my follower count is low is because I don't babysit it. And because I'm not one that desires to babysit it, things don't because I'm not willing to babysit it, things don't end up going in the direction that I truly desire for them to go. But I'm learning and growing as I move. And I'm taking you on the journey as I go along. So, how can you grow? As you see, I have 72 followers, 71 posts. Now, I actually changed this account. This account has been changed a few times, and I'm going to show you. I didn't start out like this. I started out, if I can find it. May not have access to it from here. Let me see. I was trying to see if I could find the archive. I have several posts in the back office of the archive of my Instagram. I can find it easily on my phone, but there's a series of different posts. It looks like I only have 71 posts on here, but I actually have like over 300 posts, probably 400 posts. But as I change my theme, as I change my branding, things change. Because depending on who it is that I'm desiring to reach, even this theme is going to change slightly. As you see, it's going from blue to the black and white. Things are slightly changing, and that's the way brands do. Brands, whenever you're creating a brand, your brand's going to change over time. As you find what works and what works best for you, you slowly, gradually change. And the best time to do that is in the beginning. Because you're in the beginning, nobody is really looking at you, and you can grow in silence. You can figure out what works and what doesn't work in silence. And you can take the time, you can figure out what your theme is, what the theme of the show is, all of these things at the beginning. And because of that, then you can find out how you can grow, how you can push, how you can change, transition, transform your show. There are levels to this. And Instagram is a level that you can go on that will allow you the ability to grow slowly. You can actually grow quickly depending on how much you're willing to put the time in. One way to do that is, and I've showed you this before, that you can do blog posts, but you have hashtags. When you have hashtags, what you do is you do one hashtag and then you do 29 other hashtags. But what you want to do is really, once you do that, you want to go find people that you would want to collaborate with. Now, yes, you're a podcaster and a live streamer and so on and so forth. Our brains automatically say, oh my God, I want to be on this person's show. That's like me saying, I want to be on Steve Harvey's radio show to be interviewed. Not to say that you can't, we'll get to that later, but you have to create some type of energy around you. So what you do is you go on Instagram and you search other podcasters. Instagram used to at one point have you have all of these that you have to probably look through. You want to find the podcasts or podcasters that have similar follow counts. Now, Instagram used to give you the people that have similar amounts of followers across the top of your banner as soon as you followed somebody, especially if they were in alignment with what it was that you were talking about. So let's say if I was to follow this person, their sonic music, right? And I want to follow them. There you go. All the people that follow them are across the banner. If you want to follow any of these other people, you just follow them. Now, after that, you want the ones, but you want to start off with people that have, if you're under 1,000 followers, this person has under just a little over 1,000 followers. So it's good for me to follow this person because they've got a similar follow count and they're talking about music. This person is talking about issues. This person is talking about music. I'm an NYC person. If I wanted to follow them, I could follow them. But you want to follow people that have similar follow counts than you. Then, when they post, you want to engage with their posts. Meaning, if you see something that interests you on their page, right after they post it, you go in their post, you like it, and then you put a comment. Now, from my understanding, this person just posted this. And they're talking about this particular role model, which is probably going to be on their podcast show. If I wanted to comment about that, then I would comment something positive in relation to what they're talking about. Now, she's talking about the resilience and being in prison and her mother and so on and so forth, then I would refer either to what she said or go and listen to what she's talking about, come back and comment saying, I listened to that and boom, I loved it. And I would actually put a engaging comment so that person will then like and subscribe. For instance, And due to the fact that no one has posted a comment yet to this post, I'm the first one to comment. Now let's see how if the person responds back. Because what I can do, and had I been thinking about it, I could have tagged 2 other people that were in this post and would have given them the ability to see the comment. But I could, if I wanted to, I could, let's see if I can do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to repost it. Here's a trick if you ever do this. Control. And then I'm going to @Lee OMIE at her, and then I'm gonna at the other person that's in here. Because you see the people that are tagged to it, and they're the people that are involved in the show. So what you do is you at them and post. When you are engaging and you give them something to what's the word I'm looking for? Give them something of value, they'll come back to you and be like, I'm glad that you liked, I'm glad that you this, I'm glad you loved my story, I'm glad that, so on and so forth. So it opens you up to being able to get access to other things. And you can do this. You can just search other people, other podcasts. Like this, a spectacular podcast. I don't know what this is about. I already can tell right now that's not particularly where my interest lies. But it's like when you know what your interests are, you can follow podcasts that fall in the same categories. I could say creative. I'm a designer. I love design. So this is creative baggage. So this actually is talking about music. Creative. This is a social media manager. It's like I personally already have one. No, I don't really believe I would need to follow another social media manager. But if I wanted to follow their podcast, I could do so. Creative collaborative podcast. Well, it might help if I wrote creative. Let's see what I get. Let's try artist podcast. there's all different kinds of archetype podcasts. Oh, let's say you're a makeup artist, or it delves into multiple different streams. The farther down you go, there's a wealthy art podcast, a whole bunch of different kinds of podcasts that you could look into. But look and find what fits you. Once you find it, do what I just did. Go find them. Find that they have the whatever amount of follower level that you're starting out at or between, and seek out connection. Start posting and start connecting with that page. Next, because of that, once you raise your follower count through these collaborative connections, engagement, so on and so forth, and you got to do this on a daily basis. The reason that I probably haven't grown the level that I want to is I have not been as engaged as I should be. Things are changing, so that's going to start to raise. I always pray for the ability to give me the energy to do so, because it's a tedious thing to do when you're the person doing it and you have the other things of making the podcasts and the managing the websites and doing that. When you're managing all of that, things can get away from you. And engagement is usually the thing that gets away from me. It's not that I don't want to engage, it's that engagement gets away from me when I'm working on other things. But as you grow, you get up to that 1,000 follower range. Then you start following people that are in the 2,000, 2,500 range. Then you get up to the 5,000 follower range. And people are actually paying attention to you. This is when you can start moving into that element of bridging the gap. Bridging the gap. How do you mean bridging the gap? Well, that's when you move to this wonderful element of coming to Clubhouse. Come to Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a place that allows you the ability to go on to a platform and speak. The catch to Clubhouse, though, and I will let you know this, the biggest catch to Clubhouse is you must be personally invited by somebody that's already on the platform. Meaning you can create an account all day, but if you don't know somebody that is already on Clubhouse, then you will not be able to get in there. But graciously for you, I'm already on there. So you can DM me and I will be able to let you in. Okay? Once you are in Clubhouse, you want to use the platform to the greatest of your ability. This is when you sit down and you determine, what are you talking about? And this is what needs to be in your bio. Whatever it is that you do, you need to make your bio your alignment, because once you create an alignment with your bio, especially aligning your bio from your Clubhouse to your Instagram, let's see. When your Instagram bio and your Clubhouse bio, and catch 22 to that is you can do a starter for your bio here and then do a more lengthy one in your Clubhouse. As you can see, your bio can be this long in your Clubhouse, and then you can link your Instagram back to it, which will help you grow, which will also be able to talk about whatever it is that you're talking about in your podcast, which is great for you. Next, you want to be able to go in and you want to grow. How do you grow? Go to rooms talking about the things that you talk about. What is your podcast about? Go to rooms talking about that stuff. This is a place for business people, and it's not just your average Joe business people. There are people that are making $100,000 a year, 10, I see, $100,000 a year, $1 million a year. There are billionaires in these rooms. You want to be in that wave of people, especially if you are making your podcast one for business. You want growth. You want to put your podcast in front of people that have the ability. One, they may be able to help fund you. Two, they may have the ability to put you on their own podcasts. Three, they may be able to help give you that notoriety and influence, because if you make yourself an authority on these platforms, people will follow you. Now, the thing about it, and I'm going to tell you this right off the top, when you come to these platforms, there's a back door. A lot of these people, if you don't have 5K followers on Clubhouse, they are not going to follow you. How are you going to grow 5K followers on Clubhouse? Well, this is what you're going to do. You're going to come in, you're going to find somebody that has followers, you're going to follow them. Then, once you are in and you're following people that have followers, you're following the ones that, just like on Instagram, that have low follower counts. You go into rooms that have low follower counts and you start DMing in Instagram these people while you're in their conversation. While you're in that conversation, you're going to talk to them just as simply as you saw me go into Instagram and make that comment on that person's post. You're going to do the exact same thing, but you're going to DM that person in their personal page. You're going to start a conversation with them, and if you can give them enough value, whether you have 5,000 followers or not, they may pull you up onto the platform. But you gotta give them value in that DM, because that's the only way that you're going to get pulled up on the platform. And when you come up and they give you that mic, you got to say something of value. So meaning you got to talk something real good in order to get the room. Because if that room, everybody in there is going to start following you. Now this can happen in one of those big rooms with somebody that has over 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, so on and so forth, 100,000 followers. This can happen, but like I said, you have to DM them with something really good value that's going to get them to want to pull you on stage. And you now have access to 400, 500 people in one room at one time. And that can be an amazing element for you. Now, because of this, once you have created that element, you have opened yourself up for collaboration. Because once you see these people are able to follow you, you go in and you start following the people in the rooms, finding out the ones that are interested in the same things that you're interested in, because these people can become people that you interview. These people can become people that could be potential clients. These people can become people that can be collaborative connections that you can still DM and get connections with. So it's a connection upon connection network in Clubhouse. Now, with that being said, you want to build that audience. So when you start following these people, they will start following you back. And the same way that you grew in Instagram, you're going to grow in Clubhouse, because when you start going into these rooms, creating and giving value, people are going to start following you. You're going to start to go up. You want to get that $5,000, not five, well, you want $5,000, but you want to get that 5K follower. Then you want to go up and move to your 10K, your 20K, your 55K, and so on. But you got to provide value. And what you really want to do is you want to be able to, at some point, because you're providing value, get your own club. How do you do this? You have to provide value in those rooms by becoming a moderator. If you're coming into these people's rooms and providing enough value, they will bring you on stage and they will make you a moderator. I'm going to show you this. You see this green right here at the top of this image? This green right here means that the person is asking you to come up as a moderator. And this is something that you want to happen. You want them to come up. You want them to want you to come up as a moderator, because if you get into enough rooms and become a moderator in their room, that will open you up to being able to do your own club, which is great. Because once you're able to do your own club, you have your own room, and it will give you more notoriety when you create your own rooms. And what can happen is, if you get in with those people that have 100K followers, and you start hosting rooms in there, as connected to them, they will share your room. The app will automatically share your room, which means you'll have access to 100,000 followers, almost 200,000 followers, easy. And that will grow you. But you just want to make sure that when you're doing this, that you're doing it from an organic place, that you know that you're getting the people that would want what it is that you have to offer. So this is for those people that you got business, you want to make your podcast about business, you're talking business. These are the groups and the places and the people that you want to interact with. Because most importantly, it's about growth. And once you have created that collaboration, you can grow. Which brings me to Spotify Green Room. Spotify Green Room is the mirror of Clubhouse, but it's for creatives. So if you are a musician, if you are creative, you're an artist, you are a dancer, whatever it is that you do, this is your hangout spot. This is your place to talk. This is your place. And the great thing about this, which is a caveat in comparison to Clubhouse, you can record your conversation. So you can provide value by recording your podcast from this platform off the bat. And people can come in, they will engage, they will enjoy your conversation, they will comment, they will talk, so on and so forth. You have to have good energy on here. So if you're a creative, you're an artist, you're a musician, you're what have you, you can create an open discussion that will allow people to interact with you in ways that you may not be able to do on Clubhouse. With that being said, you want to be able to gain the difference between this platform and that one is you want to be able to get on stages, but you want to interact in conversations and get gems. It's easier to do so here because you have a chat. You can chat, and people, the more value you give in the chat, just like on Instagram making comments, the comments that you make and you tag and you are engaging, they will pull you up onto the platform and they will ask you to speak. Once you have that, you will get more gems for the more rooms that you can come in and you can speak. So go in there and enjoy the rooms that are about the conversations that you're about talking about, because that's going to be your place. That's going to be your growth. That's going to be your location. That's going to be your space, place, direction, location to as a artist and creative musician, so on and so forth. That's going to be your platform. That's going to be your growth module. That's going to be your strategy. And what you do on here, they are adding the ability to put your social media accounts onto this platform, but it has not been engaged yet. So what you do is you put your Instagram in your bio. When you put your Instagram in your bio, then you open yourself up that it can go back to your Instagram, back to your podcast, so on and so forth. But once you are allotted the ability, if you have a podcast that links to YouTube videos, you're set, because you can add a YouTube link to your podcast instead of just, and you can actually link that without having to add it in your bio. There, you can do your Twitter, you can do your YouTube, and I think it's another link that you can add. But if you have those, link them. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are linking them to this account, which is another asset to using this application outside of Clubhouse, because it's good for your creative ability. Now, with that being said, you go in, you interact, you get gems, you grow, and you engage, because then you engaging with the people will allow you the ability to collaborate with the other people on that platform. When you have the ability to collaborate with the others on that platform, you will grow. You may grow faster here than you would on Clubhouse, but if you can use the two in tandem, I would do it, because that will allot you the ability to gain notoriety. And if you're thinking about launching a show while you are preparing your 6 to 10 episodes, it would behoove you to take your episodes, record them on the Green Room app. Do those first 6 to 10 episodes on your Green Room app. It tests your ability to get an audience. It tests your audience. It's a what do you call it? It's a tester space. You can test those episodes, then you can link them back on Anchor, and then when you actually do your launch, you have people that are willing to either be on your show, connect with your show, so on and so forth, because you can do all of this that I'm explaining before you even launch the show, which is a game changer for when the show has launched, because you are able to press it and push it into multiple avenues. Then you can do an episode on Green Room and then go to Clubhouse and do a conversation. Or if you got two devices and you savvy like that, you can be on Clubhouse, do a conversation, do the same conversation in Green Room, record it, and engage with people while in that conversation. And you will grow. You will grow. You will grow. Not only will you grow, on these platforms, your notoriety for what it is that you're creating for your podcast will grow too. Because what you want is this will help open doors for people to start following you on your podcast. Having your podcast link wherever you can put your podcast link, please do. Please do. Put it wherever that you can put your podcast link. If you need to put it in a short form, put it in a short form so that you have more space in order to use it. Because you want to be able to get those collaborations, because the goal is not only just to talk to people and to grow your social media base, it is to actually be able to get on other people's podcasts. You want to get on other people's podcasts. Because if you get on other people's podcasts, that will grow your audience too. Now, you can do this the old-fashioned way by creating a pitch podcast template. You can go and use a template, whatever it is that you're trying to sell. Maybe you're selling the podcast, maybe you're selling a book, maybe you're selling a t-shirt, whatever it is that you sell. Most musicians, if you're creative, you're going to put your music, whatever that is. You're going to create a sales letter for whatever that is. Reach out to the people and create something very simple, which will give them the opportunity to get understanding as to what it is that you're selling, whatever that is. This is a simple letter that was created, and if you have already used the format of Clubhouse, have used the format of Instagram, have used the format of Green Room, guess what? You've created 3 spaces that you can talk to these people in. So by the time you're ready to bring them a pitch letter, your pitch letter is going to have all that information of all the things that you have, especially if you're talking to this same person on multiple platforms. You keep that information and you put that in that pitch letter. Once you have put that in that pitch letter and you change up what needs to be changed up in that pitch letter, you talk about whatever your product is, whatever your service is. You give them a summary of what it is. Whatever it is that you talk about on your podcast, they will remember you, because if you were engaging them in your Instagram, you were engaging them with good, thoughtful conversation in the Clubhouse. You were engaging them with good, thoughtful conversation in the Spotify Green Room. They're going to remember you as soon as you send them this pitch letter. And you won't even have to go from selling a product. You can just send them a pitch, straight pitch, where you're talking from the perspective of having already conversated with them on these other platforms. You have already set yourself up for gold, being able to get in the door, to get on other people's platforms, which opens you up. It gives you the ability and the notoriety that is necessary in order to grow in ways that you will be able to get into new places, because you don't want to just stop at podcasts. You want to get access to television. How do you know? I went into Be on TV boot camp. And when I tell you, the same strategies were used, the only difference is you were reaching out to people that were on TV. Meaning you're simply going and taking a day. Once you've done all of this, and you've already given yourself the clout, and you've even gotten onto multiple platforms with your podcast. If you got money like that after having done all that, and you want to invest in a place like Kitcaster or something like that, go right ahead. But it will give you the ability to get on other platforms. You can have somebody manage it for you. Great. If you have some money like that, go ahead and do it to your heart's content. Because they will set up the collaborations for you. But if you're starting out, you want to do what I just told you. Then, after you've gotten all of this, you've done your headshot, you've got your letters, you've promoted, you've positioned yourself with these people as being an authority and somebody that they can work with and talk to, you can get on these TV shows. You can have access. And the best way to get access is I'm going to tell you the simplest way to get access to these TV shows. I used to think it was a hard thing. But once you've done all of this, all you really want to do from that point forward is take these same skills and strategies and start reaching out to the actual television stations that are locally in your area, and you're going to write letters to them the same way. But the catch-22 to that is, what you might want to do, bonus, is if you can find out the names of the anchors, the names of the television show producers, you can find out the names of these people, and you find them on Clubhouse, on Green Room, and you start interacting the exact same way. Instagram them, get on their platforms, get into the conversations, talk with them, get on to the creative platforms. If they over there, you're mostly probably going to find your TV people on TV platforms in Clubhouse. Or you're going to find them in TV platforms on creative space like Green Room. Interact, engage. Then pitch them. Because once you pitch them after you've engaged with them in those three places, you are a shoo-in to getting on their television show, to getting a segment on their show, to getting in with them in some kind of way. You're a shoo-in. You are a shoo-in, which will open you up to the opportunities, especially depending on what magazines you're trying to get into. You do the exact same thing. If you're trying to get into a magazine, you're looking for the editor for that magazine, and you're reaching out to them doing the exact same thing. Whether you're trying to get on, some people, if you're business, you want Forbes. If you're music, you want iHeartRadio or one of those platforms. If you're podcasting, you find the top 200 list for iTunes, and you're target for collaboration. If you have a book, you want to make sure that your book gets Amazon bestseller. How do you do that? Very simple. Take this note. Bonus. Go to Amazon. Create your book in there. Yes, they try to take part of your money because they only allow you to get, is it 30 off of 100, and they take 70, or vice versa. I can't remember. But they take 30, or they take 30 or you take 30, I forget. But once you go in there, a lot of people, quick way to get to top 200 with your Amazon book, especially if you're promoting the book on your podcast, ding, ding, ding. You want to make sure that you are take it on Amazon, put the price down to $2.99. Let it sell for about 2-3 weeks. Promote it in these same clubhouses, in these same Instagrams, in these same conversations. Ding, ding, ding. And once you do that, because books do very well on Instagram, because it likes words. Put inserts, excerpts from the book, photographs from the book, so on and so forth. It likes words. But you do that, you can get a #1 best-selling book, and then you put that book, same letters, and you're writing the execs. You're writing the people that that you're trying to get into their TV shows, get into their platforms, so on and so forth. You're trying to get an article that offers value. And if you're in Clubhouse and you are offering value, some of these people will be in those rooms and they will pull you and say, we want to work with you for an article. If you even mention that you're interested and you're in the presence of the right people, they will pull you in. You can do a guest feature on a blog. Perfect example. When I showed you in previous videos where you create your own blog, all you're doing is taking your podcast, converting it with Otter, creating the blog post. Once you've created a blog post, that is your article. Edit the article. If you create value and you go into these places like Clubhouse and the value is similar and ding, 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 ding. If you're in there creating value, guess what? You can take that conversation, open up your phone while you're in Clubhouse, open the Otter app, ding, 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 record the value that you have dropped in that room, ding, 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 and that can become part of an article. You go in there, you cut out what you want, you use it because these conversations are so deep. When I tell you these conversations are so deep, people get lost on Clubhouse for hours because the conversations are so deep. It's like you jumped in a rabbit hole and you can't come out. You go in there, you go in Otter, you transcribe the entire conversation, you start pulling value nuggets out. Honey child, please. You'll turn around and you be able to start. You will have. I don't understand how you could not have content after being in them rooms. If you spend enough time hanging out in some of these rooms, and you just at a loss for creative content, come into these rooms and listen to people talk. You will find content, concepts, taglines. Just record conversations. Go back and look for titles. Pull it. There you go. There you go. That was free 99 for you. That was a free 99 for you. Okay? When you get into these interviews, meaning whether you are getting interviewed by somebody that you're collaborating with, whether you managed to take the same hints that I just told you to get on to other people's podcasts, get on to television shows, so on and so forth. Hello? You are now being interviewed by the expert. And if you can flip that conversation back and forth, that you will be able to be the expert in that conversation, and you are now somebody is willing to have a conversation with, you are already miles ahead of other people. You are now able to get engagement, and when people see you in these articles, when people see you after you've made the right context to the right people on television, honey, listen to me. You will now be able to bring your topic matter from radio to television, and that will possibly open a door for you, especially if you have situated and positioned yourself correctly. You could be the next talk show host. The next talk show host. Because you have provided value, but you must grow. You must collaborate. You must interact. You must open the door for these things to happen for you. Because if you're not opening the door for conversation, if you're not opening the door for these things to happen, when you launch your podcast, people aren't going to be interested in what you have to say. But if you're doing some of these basic strategies, if you do the basic stuff I said in the beginning first, before you even launch, get you that collaboration, get you those people that are going to be 5 or 10 people that are going to be talking and boasting about your conversation on either this platform or Clubhouse, then bringing the first episodes to air on Anchor or wherever platform that you're desiring to use. Then you're going in, and after you have gained your following base, gained connectivity, gotten used to using Clubhouse and Spotify Green Room and Instagram all together. Once you have gotten that, honey, then you can move to going and direct messaging some of these TV people, these article people. I would go for the article people first, because if you want to get on articles, boom. And if you're an actor or a musician, these are the places that you reach out to people. I went into a room on Clubhouse. I forget who. I think the girl's name is Honey Shakur or something like that. And she had a room. It was so many musicians in that room. So many people giving nuggets of creativity, because you'll find a lot of musicians if you are an artist or creative like that. You will find that there will be many musicians in there, and they will share their rooms. You start following, you follow rooms, you follow the business, the executives, follow them. And guess what? You're going to go and you're going to find out the information. You're going to DM them. You're going to get in conversations with them folks. Because if you're an artist and musician, guess what? That's where you want to be. Legit. And then you can pitch them. But you want to create a repertoire with them. And you will get in the door. Because if as long as you're adding value and character, you will get in the door. Collaborate. Open the door. And I can guarantee you your podcast will go from nothing to soaring, and your topic matter, your product, your book, your clothes, your music, whatever it is that you're selling, even if you're coaching, you can get that thing on radio, TV, because that's the goal. The end game, if you really want it, is you can get your own talk show. You can go from YouTube to TV, but you gotta make sure you're interacting. So this is what I'm telling you. I wanted to offer you that value. I actually had no idea this conversation was going to go where it went, but I'm glad that we were able to talk about it. I'm glad I was able to help you. I'm glad I was able to give you value. I'm glad that this is going to leave you with something that is going to be a blessing to you. This is Taj McCameron for podcast development. And I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, bye-bye.